heard a lot of adverse impacts, okay, from just now what you have mentioned, the impact that's on RDC's financial and also sustainability. But we also heard about stories of hope and where positive impacts were highlighted in the social media, also in the news. So maybe you can share with us from maybe different level of viewpoints. Maybe firstly from RDC's viewpoint, secondly your district Sandakan, and then lastly Sabah as a state. How do you?
Okay, I will try. Well, firstly, on the RD side, I guess I mentioned earlier that we had time to upgrade facilities. That's a good thing. I would look at that as a positive side. And the other thing is that we have been forced into creativity, you know. You have to come up with new things. Like our presence in the past, our presence in the social media was not very much, I would say. We were more to face-to-face kind of center or people. But during the pandemic, because we couldn't interact directly with visitors, so we had to do some videos. We have to come up with new ideas on how to reach out to our visitors, our students, you know, besides through WhatsApp. So we need to learn new skills, like videography is definitely very important now. Yes. So we have started training some of our education staff. It's still going on actually now. Been training them on videography. So they're still coming up with the videos. They have to do at least 20 this year.
Wow.
And yes, 20 this year, short videos. And we will put it on our Facebook and all our social media accounts. And I think forced creativity is good, I think. And it's a good, what do you call that? It's a positive side of this pandemic. And then also on the Sandakan part, I would look at it at tourism, from the tourism angle. I would say what we noticed, or I noticed at least, is that because Sandakanians or everyone couldn't they couldn't cross district borders, you know, especially during MCO like now. So Sandakanians would go to places closest to them, which is RDC. That is a good thing for us as well, you know. When at least when we reopen, the first place that I would go is the RDC. And there was a time when the RDC, amongst all the nature centers within Sepilok, RDC was the only one open after it was lifted. The others were still closed. They were pending some administrative circular or something. So we were open. So visitors were coming to RDC. There were even visitors from Lahadatu that called us, "Are you open?" And I said, "Not yet, but I think we're going to open soon." And he said, I really want to visit RDC, and I was hoping you guys would be open." You know, so we had this kind of calls. So people, I would say that locals are trying to get to know local places, and I think that's a good thing. On the tourism side, you know, I wouldn't say that our tour operators don't care about local visitors. I wouldn't say that. But the fact is that everyone tried to, you know, try to accommodate foreigners first. I don't know if you agree to that, but every package
the income is bigger.
Exactly.
spending rate, the spending power, I
Mm-hmm.
think they will look at it that
The
way.
packages are all tour packages catered for foreigners, and this can be too expensive for our locals.
Yes.
Very
It,
very high price for our locals. I noticed that because in June the MCO was and we were allowed to travel. My family and I went to Kota Blood, and the package they offer was really, for me it's cheaper than usual. So we locals can go to our local places at a rate that we can afford. Previously maybe we couldn't afford it because it was like more to foreigners package.
yes.
So I think that is a good thing. So locals would go and visit because they've been cooped up in the house for so long. Everyone wants to go somewhere to visit,
Yes.
and when that somewhere is very affordable, last time was 500, now it's 200. Let's go. So I think that's a good thing, and we get to know the local tourism. I would say have gone up during this pandemic, and on the Sabah. This is what happened. This is what happened. I don't know if it answers that question, but then this is what I saw when when the pandemic started, right, in March.
Mm.
People were so afraid because we are afraid of what we don't know, right?
Yes.
Most probably we are afraid of what we don't know. People were afraid that if they go out, how do we get infected with this dangerous virus?
Mm.
If we just go near people, are we going to get sick right away? So we stay at home, and there was a time on the street, maybe one or two cars on the road,
Yes.
and actually that was a big that was a good thing. But then after that, as the MCO got of Sabah, or
Mm.
yeah.
But I think overall, for I think what we saw last year was, of course, a drastic drop in carbon emissions.
Mm-hmm.
Few months, a sudden
Yeah.
drop. Maybe not a particular state, but the entire globally lah. We saw a drastic drop.
Yes, yes.
Definitely that one. And
Mm.
if I remember correctly, I think last year we did not experience haze, or was a very mild
Mm-hmm.
one.
We've had couple of instances with this clear sky.
Yes, very clear
Yeah,
sky.
very clear sky. Yeah, that is very true. So we've experienced that in Sabah as well. So that is a good thing, I think.
Yes. I would agree with you, because in Selangor, it usually, during haze season, it's the first impacted and it's terrible. Uh, but I think last year we had really clear blue skies. Very, so I think that would be one of the positive impacts that everyone staying at home has on our Mother Earth. Kan?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if this will continue, because we also see other impacts that we have not seen, which is the increased use of single-use materials, single-use plastic,
Mm-hmm.
like face masks. Of course, the PPEs for the frontliners, those we can't avoid. But when we talk about the general public using single-use face masks, for hygiene, for safety, yes, I agree it should be used, but it is how
Mm-hmm.
we dispose of it that is
Mm.
creating a different kind of impact. Where I think,
Yeah, I agree. I think they haven't been I think there haven't been enough many awareness on how we should dispose the face mask, you know.
Yes.
And I've seen face masks flying around on the road and all that. That is a bad thing. So that one has to be addressed as well, I think. You know, I noticed earlier during the pandemic, we were also on rotation basis, going to the office, working from home and going to the office. And I also started to plant things at my backyard, you know, vegetables and turmeric and ginger.
Awesome.
And you know what I noticed? I think this happens to a lot of people, because when I went to the DIY or supermarket to look for pots, planting pots, they always ran out. That means even the seeds. I look for seeds to plant, and the shelf were empty except for a few that is not so popular. So people were planting, and I think that's a good thing, not only for the environment, but for them to use. You know, recently I was so happy because we harvested ginger from my backyard to use for cooking. That's a good sign.
Yes.
So people started planting,
True.
and also people were, you know, this COD for food, especially food.